know. Who wants
Let's
to
go, Mark. Let's start her off.
Let's go. You guys want to start with WWE or you want to start with
Yeah.
ECW?
Let's do WWE. And
Yeah, let's probably be.
WWE, your top 3 WWE.
easiest to hardest.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, mine will probably be from the era I watched.
That's
you
fine.
know what I mean. Well, when I think of tag team wrestling in WWE, I immediately think of the Hardy Boys.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably put Hardy Boys at number 1 just because of they're probably my favorite tag team if I think about it. That they were extremely influential.
They were influential. You got to think they were around. When was that big time ladder match at No Mercy or 99 in Cleveland with the ladder match with Edge and Christian?
Was
Dude,
that
there
No
was
Mercy?
so many.
Yeah, there was No
I
Mercy.
couldn't even tell you.
99.
99, October 99. So you think October 99, and then that was before all the TLCs, of course. And
Yeah.
that's before, some of these crazy high flyers on the indies and stuff. Like, it's before all of that. So influential is key word there.
For sure. There's just so many memorable matches I can not remember at this point. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of all just blur together, but I was always psyched for them. And which would lead me to number 2 being Edge and Christian.
That's a good one.
For probably the same exact reasons.
They didn't have, if you think about it, their run together wasn't all that long.
But it was epic.
They were great, man. They were great together. And they'll always be lumped together with the Hardys. And if your third one is the Dudleys, then we can just sit there and talk about it all.
Yeah.
But they were innovative and influential. I can't agree with you more on both those teams right now.
And number 3 is going to be a hard one because I wasn't prepared, even though this was. I believe I'm the one who brought this title go. But shit, the Dudleys would be the obvious choice, but I don't want to go there.
You can go there if you want to.
I can't think of many tag teams off the top of my head. Maybe I'll just go the Dudleys.
Well,
Hall of Famers.
They are Hall of Famers now, and again, you want to talk revolutionary, man. There was nothing like those first TLC matches. There really wasn't. There's been ladder matches, plenty that were always great, but
That Edge and Christian and Hardy Boys ladder match, in my opinion, grew that TLC. Like, it was like, okay, we have something here.
Yeah.
there was never a tag team ladder match before that one.
No.
And I remember thinking tag team ladder match, that would be pretty cool. And these guys are kind of flying around. This would be pretty good.
Yeah.
There was not that one. That match deserves way more praise than it gets because there was never anything like that before.
They went out there and
As good as the Shawn and Razor ladder matches were, they were great, and they were first, and told them probably a better story, but the things that those guys did, those 4 guys did, in that
you
ladder
can't
match,
compare it.
No.
I would say the same thing. I would say that's the more entertaining of the ladder matches.
Yeah. And you got the Dudleys as number 3.
I guess so. And it'll probably come to me as you guys go. I was like, why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I think of that?
Well,
but
I see.
I guess it's a good start. For
I
the
can
top.
go a different route, and I'll go second because I'll be the elder statesman here because I grew up on a little bit of a different era of tag teams. The British Bulldogs were around at the end, when I started watching wrestling, because they were bigger WrestleMania 2 era, 86. I think they came in 85, so it's 85 to 88 was their big run. So I didn't get to see them that much. I know that they were great. I am going to say the Hart Foundation. That was one of my top WWF tag teams. Brett and the Anvil, man, they were just... And I didn't really see their heel run until going back and watching prior. I remember them more as baby faces. But they were great, man. And the Heart Attack was a simple but a cool finish.
It was kind of... Because I was the same way. Obviously, I was born in 88, so I didn't get to see their heel run. But going back, it's almost weird watching Bret Hart as a heel. Mm-hmm. Anvil's more believable as a heel at that point in their careers.
Big barrel chest, and he was louder.
Laughing.
Yeah. So Hearts are definitely on there. Demolition's absolutely on there. Because I listened to the Demolition episode of Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard.
Loved it.
And the thing is that, we're sitting here 2018 with hindsight, and we can look back and say, aren't they kind of Road Warriors rip-offs? Well, maybe, but you gotta understand, people didn't have both wrestling on, you didn't get both shows depending on where you lived. So for a lot of people, including myself, we saw Demolition first.
Yeah.
Demolition was the original. I remember seeing like magazines and stuff knowing who the Legion of Doom was before they got to WWF. But for me, Demolition was the first, and I mean, they were legitimately scary when you're a kid. Like that gimmick was so good, the music was so good, and you know what? They weren't terrible in the ring. They had some
decent
good matches with the Hearts. They had one at SummerSlam '88 and at '90, both really good matches. Had some good matches with the Brain Busters. Had some good matches with the Rockers. So whereas the Road Warriors, I don't think anybody can really think of like the, oh my god, that was the great LOD match. Like they were cool as shit. But
I'm going to go out on a limb and say I have never watched an LOD match that I was blown away by.
No,
I was just like, oh, I get it.
I gotta show you the Steiner's match from WCW, where it's like 10 minutes of them just beating the crap out of each other and nobody sells anything. It's great. It's great. I love the Brain Busters, but I would consider them more NWA, like cause
they only had a short run,
a year and a half. I'm not a huge Rockers fan. Like they were really good. Like I'm a classic wrestling guy. I know the Rockers were way better actually in ring than like the Rock and Roll Express, but never a huge Rockers fan. So I'm gonna go into the modern era, a team that has been together a long, long time and probably doesn't get the recognition they deserve. I'm saying the Usos, man.
Wow.
I think the Usos are a top tag team of all time in the WWF because they've been together for about 10 years now.
They've been around
in the
for
WWF,
a while.
and they've evolved and they've gotten better to the point where, I mean, their stuff with the New Day a couple years ago was just fantastic matches. We really can't miss matches. And I thought they were actually okay as baby faces before. Like they do the tandem dives and stuff and dives.
I used to prefer, like when they did their heel turn, I was like, man, I liked the tribal look with the paint and stuff, but like the heel Usos grew on me over time. And now they're kind of
back to being baby faces because they were so good in that role.
Exactly.
I say you got 10 years together as a team without really altering. And that's with respect to the Hardys, the Dudleys, and the ENC, but they split. They had separate singles careers.
Yeah.
I think the Usos, just that longevity, put them in there. I could probably argue the Dudleys is my third also, but just for different sake to have this discussion, I think the Usos are great tag team.
They're definitely. I don't watch much modern day wrestling. You guys know that, but I think from what I've watched, they are the longest tag team. The New Day could be in that discussion too for modern tag teams. I think they're entertaining as hell.
Yeah.
But the Usos definitely are the tag team of this era.
No, I agree. I mean, sure. New Days holds records too, so I think they'd also be a good candidate too. But Usos, I wouldn't even like. I'm surprised you said the Usos.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm more of a classic guy. And that's the thing. Like I can tell you all the great Demolition matches. I haven't probably seen all the great Usos matches, but again, that longevity, I think, is just something to speak of. And the fact that even right now today, an Usos match and a big time match, you're excited to see it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great match
for sure.
So we got our guest, Mr. Jeff Hughes, over here. You got 3 WF tag teams.
I have 3, and one is the same as Mark's. I want to say the Hardys.
Nice.
I'm gonna put them at number 1 just because they got such a big pop. At one point they were hot, man. They were so hot. Like they heard that music and they just went nuts. And you knew it was gonna be something crazy,
If you think of that time too, the late 90s, early 2000s, and we can make fun of it now, but like the Hot Topic scene was like, it was really, really big.
Yeah.
The baggy pants and the tight shirts and like, the colors,
when they started coming out with Jeff Hardy started coming out with paint on his face, I kind of was like, all right.
I think that was the pills. But
the demons were coming out. But
no, and they still rock that style too. Like Jeff Hardy especially, he never stopped. He's still wearing the almost like Jinko sized pants.
Hardy's always been Jeff Hardy, yeah.
And I mean, I thought they were pretty fucking cool when I was a kid too. I mean, I had tube socks that I cut holes into.
That was the.
I mean, like.
That was like
so
the era that I grew up on.
So. You don't have to be embarrassed to say that because so many other kids did.
And I'm gonna go. They probably don't have the best in ring work, but my number 2 team probably might have been the most over is the New Age Outlaws.
How did I? Yeah, dude.
I mean,
Yeah.
There'd be a couple of times that they, the beginning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children, they had the whole damn thing written out on a sign. Like 20 people were holding up that, and it was just.
And that Attitude Era, I mean, everybody recited it. Everybody recited it with them. If you can get the entire crowd doing your stick with you like that.
They were something else.
That's such a good story because look, they were two guys that they were just doing nothing with. They were two extra parts and they put them together and said, "Yeah, go ahead." And
it worked.
It worked. It was magic.
Yeah, I mean when you watch the old the mid '90s tag teams, the Smoking Guns were one of the best, one of the bigger tag teams.
3 tag runs,
and you knew Billy was the guy in that tag team. As a kid, I thought he was.
Yeah.
So for him to get in another tag team and it blew up the way it did, it was a good look for him. But my third team, man, I would say the Dudleys, but they're to me they were bigger in ECW. So
they were made in ECW.
Yeah, they were more important in ECW to me.
Same reason. I mean, the LOD was there, and obviously they were one of the best tag teams of all time. But they never really felt like a WWE tag.
They were exactly. So with that, I'd probably say, I might just have to steal one of your answers and go with Demolition.
We'll let you go first on the next round, so you don't have to feel like stealing anything.
But they were great, and I would put them at number 3, and and you could flip flop any of those teams in my opinion.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily have them ranked in order myself. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, my
top 3.
Top 3.
Yeah.
We could talk about Demolition all day though. I mean, you want to talk about a team, which is their entrance and the look and everything that they looked like. I mean, stars, and you knew who they were. You knew when they came out. They got the big reaction.
They scared the shit out of you as a kid.
The Road Warriors did too. They still call the Road Warrior Pop. Those two teams will always be compared, but I think for us, being WWF guys, growing up on it, Demolition, man, is the coolest. I'd still pop right now to hear that.
Yeah, it's
so
awesome.
Good.
I think they are still doing some indie shows.
They do indie shots as Demolition. Actually, I've heard that Darso won't do Blacktop Bully, or he won't do Repo Man, which is kind of sad. But so I'd love to book the Repo Man. I'd have the Repo Man come and steal your car in the parking lot.
I would let him. I left the keys in there.
But yeah, I think they do come out and do the Demolition gimmick still on the indies.
Yeah. So
pretty cool.
Yeah, we had similar lists.